short.
I mean, New York thought they were going to that finals. They planned fan meets and all sorts of stuff in New York City, but they didn't really get to go to the stage. But they're going to get back on that path as best as humanly possible. Take a look here. The finishing moment is Dynasty were able to.
I don't need the comment side part, so
over the
I'm gonna
NYXL
turn that down.
First ever
I want that to not be in the way of the camera, though.
An absolutely stellar start to the season.
Cool.
For Dynasty.
All right, awesome. Commentators on or off doesn't matter. Okay, I'll have them probably on like quiet. Well, like the thing is, I can have commentators on, or I can have my own music on. But I feel like this is probably safer because if I don't have music on, then I can't get like copyrighted, and I can upload this to YouTube and stuff. You ready? We want to be enlightened, Rib? I'm gonna go into the high level of how Philly's quad DPS, despite being on live patch with Baptiste, gets absolutely shit stomped by NYXL playing goats.
You know you're facing off against this opponent that has such a history of beating you. You know, despite the fact
so
that your
prepare,
record is
prep yourself.
higher than Philadelphia's here. So
Wonder why?
York,
Smile.
I think it's time to
don't know, man.
this series, win it
Maybe
bring that momentum back.
it's like goats is pretty good or something. I think that could be it. I don't know. Alright, well, let's not watch the first map's gonna be Li Zhang. So starter comps, basic like standard. Well, this isn't. They're gonna swap.
The first round of 3. There'll be 3 rounds here.
This is probably second best map for goats. You run this like goats is probably the most common. Like, but this is also I'd say you can like debate on whether this is better for goats or quad than like quad. Ideally, I feel like is best on garden. Personally, like for me. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's just don't. You can't be there as fair. Like if you're in range of hook, you just lose, right? Like right here, he should be gone. He shouldn't be here. He should be like all the way here, like far away. How do I clear my drawing? Is there a way to just clear it? There's no way to just clear the drawing? Is there like, just cancel? I guess that works. Okay. Visor wasn't working for some reason today, so I can. Anyway, Farrah shouldn't be there. Like that's so bad. Like when you're down in numbers, like so the way quad works is you just take multiple angles, like as many angles as possible, and then execute on pile drive. From they just swap. They swap off to goats because they know they're not gonna win. Carpe probably will swap too in a sec. Yeah. So goats v goats, except they're traditional goats, where New York is now running an Ana goats, I believe. Okay, so they're running no Zarya, so they're not enabling Rhine. They're trying to play a different style. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, so they're playing Flank Hog. So they're just trying to. So New York is playing to simply like they're trying to live through the initial burst of Goat's cooldowns, and essentially have Nen come around the back to consistently pressure and disrupt. Either you can almost guarantee a support pick. Either way, what happens when you have a hog come around from behind and hook your supports or hook the tanks away? One, you're like displacing the whole like positioning of goats, and then two, you're also you have to dedicate resources to stop the Roadhog because he's such a high kill threat. Where there's no ramp up time on like Zarya. Like Zarya 0 energy flanking does nothing, right? There's no CC that she has. She can't displace people like out of position, and she can't one shot people like a hog can. So Hog has tank shredding, and he has the ability to do things like this. So New York basically says, okay, we know our win condition is set on Hog. We can out-heal their poke because we have an Ana. They don't have an Ana, right? Like, if we just avoid getting the Discord on a Rhine, and we can use Matrix if that does happen, we can set up time for a Hog to become effective in flank, and then start pressuring, and then once their front line sort of falls, or their like base positioning sort of falls, then the Hog can push in and like absolutely just walk. Like see, now they have to dedicate all these resources to turning towards the Hog, and then blue team just turns around, right? Plus they have nade heal combo. Like there's a lot of things that can work. Realistically, if you play goats perfectly, right, like Philadelphia should be winning that frontline war. They should be engaging when the Hog is rotating. But the way New York played, they were stuck on that comp, and they played it like perfectly. They played with the win condition that they had. They won, and then they swapped off, which is perfect. So now it's just traditional goats, well, Ana goats versus traditional goats. But they have ult advantage from New York, so they're probably just going to nano the Rhine and have him run, yeah. So just nano speeding Rhine, it's pretty done. A nano speed rally as well. They just walk it in, like, just ult efficiency. Ult efficiency and just the lack of things coming from Philadelphia means that New York can sort of just walk at them.
that Carpe wasn't able to build enough charge, not to mention that they were starting with a 3.
Like, again, they're still up so much just because of the way they rotated, and now it's already at 71%. Like, Philadelphia has to commit everything to, like, ensure the fact that they get it, and New York should just win off the fact that they can just build 6 ults now. They don't need to win the next fight like Philly does, right? Philly has to win this fight or they lose this map. So, get the bubble. Nice, but he missed self-bubble because he got booped. Yeah, that was... I actually want to go back and watch this. This is actually really solid from New York. So they sleep Satos. They are like, okay, just throw bomb. Like they have to send resources to defend this. I'm gonna watch this in slow motion actually. Oh, you can change the player rate with these. Oh, that's Pog. Okay, so they boop Carpe. Carpe was trying to like time his bubble and spent so much like he had to. They made this really difficult. So I'm actually gonna go back a little bit here and just go over this one last time. So the biggest thing here is that they get to sleep on the Rhine, right? Okay, so this is clearly a pre-planned like idea because they had Jonak over in the Mega to get the Rhine sleep. So they slept Sato. Philadelphia is now like, okay, we have to protect our Reinhardt. They commit bomb, very simple, not a super high priority ult. They're like, all right, well we'll Zarya bubble it. Boombox unfortunately goes for a right click here, which really kind of screws things because then Carpe has to worry about missing bubble now. But like, I mean, I guess he wasn't really like expecting to get in the way of LS because Carpe got booped. But this makes this little interaction, you can tell, kind of takes up Carpe's like mental capacity to where he focuses so heavily on this bubble that he ends up not getting self bubble off in time. So he doesn't actually even use it and dies with the bomb himself. Whereas Boombox panic trances and then goes on to Sato, but he gets melted through it anyways. So that doesn't even matter. So that's where we're like, people say like, oh, you should have just tranced. Like, no, you can kill through trance. Like, you can very easily kill the trance. Like, that's not difficult to do. Even without a Zenyatta, you don't even need that. So now they're up 2, man. And they just walk at them, like, with numbers. Yeah. That was a super solid, like, pre-setup execution and plan from New York. Like, they clearly... New York went into that fight with, like, a very, very clear set plan, and they all executed well. Like, that's where, like, that's high-level Overwatch right there, like, in a nutshell. They were like, oh, we'll just sleep and then throw bomb, and we'll just punish on the fact that they have to burn the bubbles on that at least, and if not, then, like, and most likely they'll probably be in a poor position. Like, that, it was so much. Like, New York gave themselves every advantage in the book by doing that play. It was super solid. It was really smart. State Farm.
They get those single kills, so then it suddenly becomes a 6v5 fight that Fusion can't realistically win. The grab he wants. Okay. His team could get back here.
So no teams running Maygoats, both teams running standard goats. This is a bit more traditional. Goats is definitely going to be played in still like 60% of the games. It's not going away for a long, long time. And I can explain that for the people who think goats are dying. For people who think goats are dying, yes, other characters got buffed and the effectiveness of goats was lessened minorly due to some things getting nerfed and changed, like the way armor is calculated and the way shields and armors work and things like that. But the main issue is that the execution required to perform goats at a high level is so much less than it is to perform like a quad or a dive. Not necessarily a dive. I guess dive is fairly simple, but realistically, goats has a leniency for mistakes where dive does not. The punishment you can take for fucking up on goats is minimal compared to like overextending on a dive, right? Whereas like the person who has to probably like make the smartest decisions is probably the Reinhardt and goats, where realistically everyone has to kind of be playing super on point to play like quad or dive, where there's like the win conditions a lot more difficult to fit in. So I think goats even though in a theoretical level, like, oh, goats is dead, and you can play quad and 3 DPS and, you know, solo heal and a bunch of other different things. But realistically, AoE healing and grouping is very difficult to do, or very simple to do in goats, and will consistently be able to be highly effective for like a very little cost of practice, and when honed, which is very easy to do on goats, especially because people have been playing it for so long, it'll be very effective. So they're actually running monkey goats, which is really interesting for me. So okay, so they're playing to essentially, man, this is like really weird. They're playing like a non-committal to control this area. So like they're trying to control this space to not let, like, to force New York to go through one of these chokes to fight. I don't know why. I want to see what how they play this fight. New York will probably just group and have somebody Okay, so they're just gonna chill. It's pretty decent because they have like poke damage from Boombox and Neptuno. Like, you don't realize how much damage supports do, but they have a consistent sight line and they have like a great way to poke consistently. I mean, Boombox is already at 48% while Jonax at 23%. Onimo's got a lot more like ult from healing though, obviously, because they're taking the poke and they're all grouped. So they dive Jonak. Jonak sticks on team. But the thing is, that's not a coordinated dive. He's just gonna die. Yeah. Okay. So there's nothing like he's just alone there. Like Sato's just dead, right? Like there's nothing. That was just a foolish dive, unless that was just sort of a miscommunication from the team. Like I think if they had coordinated that, realistically they might be able to burst him. I don't know if they saw Brig use her E. Let me see it. Brig. I think Brig had her E that whole time. Let's see. I want to watch and see if she uses it. This is why I need the all access pass thing, so I can. Jonak gets hit. They amp heal. He takes no damage. He literally they have Inspire and amp heal up. He literally takes no damage. So I'm assuming they try to trade to pressure mono. That's like the idea. That's the best. Maybe that wasn't the initial idea, but that's sort of the best scenario they can take out of it, right? Is that these people have to come back to help Jonak, so they're like, okay, well, let's try to pressure their main tank. But mono was in a much safer position where like they had to run only here, whereas all of Philadelphia had to go, like, if you look at the distances that Philadelphia had to go to their main tank, Philadelphia had to go from here to here, whereas New York had to go from, like, here to here. Like, it's a lot closer, and then there just wasn't enough damage to punish the New York run. So now they're just man advantage, right? A little bit of an overextension from Mono, like, he shouldn't have swung that with that low of HP, but, I mean, I don't think it mattered too much because they got a trade on it. Again, like, playing a numbers advantage. Unfortunately, Sato comes back, so now it's a 5v5 once again, and they did use trans from both sides. Meko walked forward a little too far, probably gets DMAC? No, just barely. Wow, okay. So there's a lot going on here. Okay, so let's see. Where does he go? Meko, why is he there? How does he? I want to track Meko in this fight. Okay, so he goes, tries to kill Zarya, ends up finishing Zarya's Nen. Kind of running around the back here, waiting. Oh, he probably chases Boombox, I would assume. Yeah, he tries to chase Boombox, but ends up in the middle of the team. Is like, oh, I need to leave now. Gets the Brig heal that saves his life. Sato uses jump to try to finish him off, doesn't actually get it. Ends up getting punished. That's probably like so far like Sato overextending has been the biggest like downfall of Philadelphia, and then New York's consistent like regrouping. They just consistently are like, okay, well, just stay together, we have numbers, stay together, we have numbers, and they're consistently using the strength of the comp and the AoE healing that they have with the comp. Okay, so ult's going into the fight. We have Rally, Grav, Sound Barrier for New York. They're going to probably build Shatter, and like there's a lot of ults that are going to be coming up. So New York will probably have 5 ults this fight. Philadelphia will have at least 3, probably 4. Depending on how, like, if Sato actually gets cleave damage to build Primal. Okay, so this is really interesting because all Nen has to do... Wow, hold on. Did he actually grab? I didn't actually see him use it. When does he use it here? Does he grab the floor? How did that hit behind him? Oh, I guess he must grab the bubble, I would assume. I wonder if he did that on purpose to, like, catch the people rotating in after the... If he did that on purpose, his brain's so big. I want to watch this in slow motion to see if he actually... Okay, hold on. So when does he grab? Right now. Okay, so he definitely did not mean to do that. He meant to grab the monkey so he couldn't dive, and they could just insta-kill. Like, that was the idea. It was just grabbed for the kill on the monkey. But it ended up getting caught in the bubble, which ends up trapping the people trying to like peel bin, which is why he sort of like is slow to react to. Wait, where's my grab? So they end up actually punishing Ikkyo in the grab, and Sato's just sort of like ulting. They need to swap off this monkey immediately. They're getting 0 value out of it. They're not coordinating a dive in any way, and they don't have a way to coordinate a dive to kill anything because New York has too much burst healing with Briggy. If they just save Briggy, they just win. Okay, so they're actually swapping to Baptiste, so this will be really interesting to watch. So they swapped Baptiste for Brig, so they don't actually have a lot of CC. They're sacrificing some crowd control and some burst healing for a little more AoE healing and a little more damage. So Immortality Field comes out. They live through things. They kill the Lantho. I think that's just an ult advantage from, I mean, plus, like, it's a pretty big shatter, right? Like, this is a really big shatter. So far, it's just been, like, Mono's just better than Sato. Like, the main tank difference is so big, it looks like. So how did he get the shatter here? So I think he just swings for too long. I think he's just swinging in the immortality field, like, heh, like, I can do this. So I'm assuming that's the immortality field or the lamp that's being killed. I haven't seen it in the kill feed yet. So they shatter, bomb, and rally. I think that's the only 3 ults that they use. And 2 members up, and again they double support ulted for that. Like, that's real rough. Like, they're getting no value out of these. They're just wasting them. New York's just consistently outplaying them with the better ultimate plan and a stronger front line, it looks like. Having Brig's really helpful because it allows your Rhine to be aggressive like that. Whereas Baptiste, yeah, he's got some AoE healing and more damage, but he's not like a... It's almost like a... If you're any of you ever played Galaga? Anybody in chat ever played Galaga? That's probably a weird question, but if any of you guys have ever played... Apparently I'm under attack. And if any of you have ever played Galaga, there's like an attachment ship you can get. Galaga double ship. You can get a double ship if you like do some, I don't know. There's like a certain one that yeah. So this one you get absorbed up and blah blah blah, and then you can grab it, and then you have 2, right? So this is Brig. Brig is the second ship, and that's Rhine, and this is how you play that, and that is how Goats works. That's the analogy that I always make. This is Brig, this is Rhine. Look, there it is. There it is. Look, there's the ship, dude. There's the ship. Look. So he's staying together. All right, that's a whiffed grab. Okay, plus like Libro's is so like there's nothing to punish him from just walking up and hitting Sato now. Like there's no other Brig to pressure. So like realistically, if Sato swings, and like. Okay, so basically Mono can just hold a shield. It doesn't matter if Sato swings. Libero can swing back, and with Discord, like it's the same damage. What does Brig swing value do? Let's do some math here. Brig damage. No. Let's go Overwatch wiki. Let's look at how much damage per swing Brig does. 35 damage plus 30%. I don't know exactly. That's probably somewhere around 45, 50. So Rhine's hammer's 75. So it's literally just a mini Reinhardt just swinging, but the actual Reinhardt still holds his shield up. Whereas Sato has to swing to get that damage out now because they don't have anything that goes through shields here. Whereas they have the Reinhardt is the only thing that goes through shields. Yeah, just poor ultimate usage in general from Philadelphia Fusion. Ooh, this is interesting to see the field come out. This doesn't look like like the thing is the stability of Goats is too strong. I mean, Carpe got some crazy damage out of the, I don't know what Baptiste's ult is, but he got a lot of damage from that. So they actually managed to bring that back with Carpe fragging super heavily through the damage increasement field or whatever the fuck it's called. Which is like that's probably like a pretty game-winning ult depending on how it's used. And I think I'm actually gonna go back. I want to look at the middle of that fight where it looks like I want to see how it flips. How they go from whiff and grab so heavily. Okay, so literally no one's in grab here. Do they just give point? Okay, so that's actually super smart from Philly. Even on the whiff grab, they just said, okay, well, we whiff grab. They all ran. Like, they zoned off. Like, the grab was placed. I don't think it was intentional. But the grab was placed where if you really walk, like, here to contest, you're going to get sucked in. Or if you walk here to contest, you're going to get sucked in. So the team was like, all right, well, we'll just wait. We'll wait till the grab's gone. But then they were like, just keep him on point. Throw a bomb up or something. So then they throw a bomb up. And it ends up letting it flip. So then, despite that, they grab here and then lamp. Gorgeous lamp keeps them alive. Neptuno ends up going down after it dies, but they trade. So they trade Lucio for Zarya, which is a pretty huge trade. Like Philadelphia like doesn't have as much rotation power any longer, but the damage is so negligible from them now. Like now that they've lost, or like New York, now that they've lost Zarya, they don't really have any damage. Like Zarya is like the main DPS. Like if you lose Zarya or Ryan first in fights, your chances of winning are so much lower. So they sort of stabilize, yeah, and they just, I'm pretty sure they're just like having Carpe shoot right clicks through here and just shred people, and then he's just an aimer. So Carpe's full energy and he's just getting pocketed by 2 healers now. And Lucio comes back and he makes it back, so now they stabilized. Alright, so they actually ended up stabilizing that fight. Like a pretty like clutch like salvage of the fight that should have really been, like New York made a mistake is not letting them flip. I think sending in one person to the grab or something like that would have been okay, but realistically, they have the ability to win this back. So let's see how they take these fights. Sato has Shatter. Other than that, like there's not a lot going on. Jonak is probably gonna be able to build and counter the Shatter with Trance. That's probably what they're trying to poke for. He builds it, so like as long as he reacts. Oh, Carpe actually grabs. Okay, so they grab Trance. Ooh, they Shatter, but wow, okay. Like, you can't see that. That's, like, so important to not miss. If they're all grabbed, if they are all grabbed and in Trance, you can't miss this Shatter. This is so bad. He, like, shatters into the wall or something. I'm not quite sure how he misses that, but the freest Shatter in the world whiffs. And as soon as New York sees, like, oh, okay, Shatter didn't hit, we live through the grab. We have ults now. We have, Rally and D.Va Bomb. They're like, alright, throw D.Va Bomb in. Rally and just go, and they just like walk in. Neptuno actually burns beat to keep him alive from the bomb, but they found Sato in out of position once again. Man, dude, okay, so Sato's actually just sort of losing Fusion the game. Like it just feels like everyone's there always to help New York. I mean, maybe Philadelphia Fusion was expecting to play more quad, and that's why they ran Sato. Yeah, there's not a lot Philadelphia can do here. Alright, they got damage field is up, but man, they got hit by a fire strike. So you can see the damage field, like how it works and how it's threatening. But they like the thing is, it's such a limited space of effectiveness because of how small it is. So you can sort of just like not peek it. It's sort of like a Widow. You sort of just don't look at it. If you can just fight out of LOS, they would need like a spam incentive to like stop people from just LOSing it. Skip through the break. So so Paris. Okay, so I actually have not seen this map, played it out yet. So there's a bug and it's pissing me off. So this is actually gonna be really fun to watch. So this will be like more like DPS favorite comps. This map is very open, a lot of sight lines. Okay, so they're going Hagarissa, Pharaoh, Widow. This is so they're actually running a solo heal Mercy. That's interesting. So the reason they're able to do that is because of Boombox playing Hog. Hog is like if you're going to do this, you need at least 1 to 2 characters who are self-sustaining. I'm sure they have some sort of pack in your Carpe for him to go to, but also Widow can like is a very easy target to fly to for Mercy if she grapples up. Again, this team as well. Wow, they're running a solo D.Va, huh? Do they actually stick that? They're probably going to swap. They scouted with Sombra, so then they're going to swap. Okay, so they swap to Goats. Yep. Okay, so they realize, okay, they're like playing a DPS heavy comp. Let's just go Goats, control the point. So they scout with Sombra like every team and their mom does now. Philly sticking this comp. Rocket's going to be doing a lot of AoE damage. I really wish you could see from the Ferris perspective. Okay, this is better. We get a little more info this here. They have so much healing though with the Ana compared to the Zen. Like the thing is, they don't really need damage if they only have 1 healer, right? Like they're focused on, if they focus targets well enough, they're gonna kill like through whatever. So they try to get the combo. It doesn't actually end up hitting. Good shield from Mono. So they're just they're playing a super slow rotate to get to like slowly to the point with cooldowns up. That's really unfortunate. Jonak was actually a little too far ahead of his team, and Mono wasn't there to help with the rotate, so they end up getting punished by the spam. This is really difficult to deal with. This is just gonna be a Matrix, yeah. That's actually really unfortunate because now they can't res that. They're gonna camp that body. Now they're down 1. So Philadelphia. Okay, so right now Philadelphia needs to make a decision of whether or not they should be. Okay, so Philadelphia was just slow in making a decision, right? They needed to like the proper play for Philadelphia now is to either okay, we need to posture for the 5v5, or we need to camp the Ana on our way back from spawn. The difficulty is Ana can be effective from like any distance. So New York goes, okay, well, they lost Pharah, the only thing that's able to actually damage us, because Carpe, like, realistically is not going to be able to do consistent DPS to this comp. So they sound barrier and just one of them. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that Sada's just going to go down because Orisa can't rotate, like, quickly. Yeah, so just that mistake of, man, Echo kind of threw just by, like, dying there. Like, the thing is, like, losing one is, like, on GOATs, like, losing one is big, but losing one on other comps is so much more important, because, like, GOATs still has so much synergy with every single character, whereas, like, if you lose the only damage you have, like, the only consistent damage, you're done. So Philadelphia actually starts, wow, they're running Bastion, Junkrat, so they're really trying to pressure the D.Va nerfs by consistently just pushing out a ton of damage on shields.
What is very commonly known as the bunker composition, because it looks like you're set up in a bunker, right? You can see the shield here from Orisa. Very difficult to break this, especially the Roadhog CC there with the hook.
Oh, so this is a 2CP point.
Damage output for Carpe. Tough to break it. No Batiste on this, so no
I wasn't aware of this 2CP. I literally have never seen this map. Okay, wow. So this is really rough, because they can't. Well, like, the thing is, so what teams don't understand is, because they have a D.Va too, each team has a total of 6 seconds where they just don't take damage from projectiles. This team has so much that goes through Matrix. These three all go through Matrix. What goes through Matrix on this team? There's nothing. They don't have a single thing of damage that goes through Matrix except for hook. And if you hook D.Va, if D.Va's in a spot where she gets hooked, that's her fault, realistically, because your only job is to just hold right click on these two characters at that point. We see Nano used. I'm not sure who's Nano boosted. That's Hoggle. Okay, the thing is they have to touch, so they've already lost one tick now. They've traded both main tanks. Huge bomb from Meko on top of the team. End up getting the resin carp. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, like, you can't see anything that happens for half this fight, because we cut to the hog in front of this whole team, so you literally don't see anything here. But, okay, so I want to stop it, like, right here. Okay, so they end up getting hooked on the D.Va, but they bubble. Perfect. Like, even, that's the thing, is even if they do hook D.Va, goats, so they have a billion other defensive and healing cooldowns to save them. So it's a pretty good hook combo from them, but it doesn't matter, because Neptune is in the sky healing everyone with what he can. This is not enough healing to save people. Like, 65 HP a second is not enough to save people. You can see the white Matrix lines. They end. As soon as Matrix goes down, you just see everyone start getting chunked. Matrix is gone now, so they just start getting chunked, and you just see everyone slowly dying, and they can't stay in the same spot. And Junker has to flank, because now, realistically, he probably wasn't getting any value from shooting at the same exact angle that the Bastion was. Just like a compositional, like, failure, in my opinion, from Philadelphia. Great nade too, yeah, huge purple.
Gonna use this Helix rockets to get higher jump gear, and it's gonna look for a different angle.
Not seeing anybody though.
Now you're running Woats with Anna.
Play from NYXL, who's taking pretty much the same thing with Mono over onto the Winston. Sada's just gonna roll through. Says, hey, look, the point's open. I'll just start capping this.
Sada, great job pressuring point here. They end up killing Jonak, but they exchange Annas. They get a tick though, so already, like, Philadelphia wins this exchange technically, like, value-wise. Get Nene. Really aggressive posturing from New York, and I don't think they were quite ready for someone to just be like, I'm just gonna go stand on the payload. Like, I'm just gonna stand on point and start capping. And again, like, cleave damage is, like, especially from a Pharah, is very difficult to deal with. With goats, you don't have any hit scan most of the time. You're playing a goats comp, so Pharah is, like, usually one of the first things that I would say, like, is a true, like is a more difficult counter. Sado really has done nothing, and he's already at 50% ult. So they're gonna have EMP barrage here, which is just gonna win the point if they execute properly. If an EMP barrage, and they have Boombox actually swapped to Moira. Okay, Jonek's farming this. This is Paris. Yes, it's 2CP. So they have EMP barrage still. I don't know. They've used EMP, which I guess they probably just used it on 1 or 2 people. I didn't see it happen. I mean, of 2CP maps, it doesn't seem as bad as most. So, to be honest.
The sleep there on Sasato is actually basically.
I like New York's comp, except I think Nene had to like force Tracer pick to come back on time. So this is a little bit of a weird hold. Realistically, Tracer's like gonna have to kill something, and he can't kill Neptuno. And 1v1ing Boombox with ult is not possible as Tracer. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm really interested to see. Yeah. Yeah, just recall. Yeah, Coalescence too. Wow. Yeah. Notice how he's not even trying to fight that. Yeah. So I think just ultimate advantage from Philadelphia is gonna win them this. They were able to take the angles they needed. This is like a classic quad DPS, like sort of overwhelming. And due to an unfortunate force pick from Nene of Tracer, like they didn't have the resources to really stop it. So about as quick of a push. A little bit slower than New York. They swap off the goats because last point is just a little bit more of a close range fight. And then they swaps off the Tracer even though he has bombs because that character literally does nothing against goats. They're actually running Somber goats, which is interesting. That's okay because realistically there's not anything to Matrix. Matrix doesn't really get a lot of value against this specific composition. Like the only thing you can eat is like Zen and Lucio spam, really, like, and maybe a few Zarya right clicks and like the big ults like Grav, but it's playing for those type of like huge win conditions is sort of greedy and unrealistic in my opinion.
Could lead to an opening kill if there's a mistake on the side of New
I wish we got a little more first person obsing here. Okay, here we go. So here we go. This is gonna be a huge EMP. Nice. So really big EMP, a 5-man. No one dies. How? So that's a huge issue that no one dies. So Mono is literally in the middle of the team, gets EMP'd, gets dropped to like 1 HP, and doesn't get killed. I don't know where he is. I can't see where he is. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I didn't see any of this. So I guess he ended up hiding long enough to live and build Primal, and now he's just sort of tearing through the team. I don't know how that happened, because we didn't get to see it on camera, but that's going to be a yikes. Realistically, 5-man EMPs are pretty game-winning, and you should just push in. I think Philadelphia's a little too scared. I think there just needed to be more aggression from them. Especially if you hit a goddamn 5-man EMP. Absolutely, gotta push on that. So they just swap up the line now. Swap the counter goats. Since Mirror comps back to goats. So we're gonna be looking like who's using bubbles first, who's already got energy, who doesn't have energy, things like that. They're gonna be fighting a hallway. It's actually a really difficult spot to push, just because like everywhere you go is like this is a choke and this is a choke. Like if you drop off here, you have to come back around here to like do anything. The way this is designed, unless you can jump up like enough here. I don't know if you can jump up over this. You probably can with like a Zarya right click jump, or maybe there's like a little thing here. Yeah, okay. So there's a little thing you can jump up there, which makes it a little easier. So, God, I don't get to see any cooldowns being used because they cut at really weird times. So I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Okay, so Zarya bubbles used, projected on both Rhines. Bomb hits, not really anything. Okay, so wait, what's happening with this pin here? Oh, so there's a bug. I think that was a bug there. Hold on, let me go back. So Sato pins Mono, and he's like stuck on the wall there. Okay, so yeah, so that's actually a bug we get. So that's like, there's no like collision for a wall here, so he's just stuck in this pin eternally. Yeah, you can see him stuck there and he gets melted, which is super cool. Great game. Wow. Wow. Remember how I was like, don't pick D.Va on the off chance you eat grabs, and then Meko was like, lol, what? They're not shooting anything. There's nothing for them to shoot right now. NYXL just sort of dancing on point, trying to slow the cap. A good beat to save Nene. He ends up going down anyways. But they trade on Sato. Dude, Sato is somehow consistently dying where like he has numbers. So let's see how he dies here. Let's actually just look from. I wish I could go in and like watch Sato's perspective. I really need to get the all access thing. Sato gets put low. He's just sort of free swing on like nothing for a while, right? He swung on then twice, but then he gets put really low. Then he gets focused. They shatter What are they shatter? I can't see. I can't see what's happening. We didn't get to see any of that over there. Nothing. Like, we don't get to see what's happening because the camera works. So I guess he probably went into chase boombox, missed the pin, or got booped or something, and then ended up dying for it. I don't really know what went on there. We didn't get to see it on camera, so good bubble. Onimo trying to live. Carface aim is too good. They get a big grab. They threw a perfect Diva bomb. So good. Wow. Yeah, that was a huge clutch. Like, because realistically, they probably could have finalized the second tick, like, pretty easily. But they ended up like perfect contesting and ended up getting both these people with this bomb. They covered that bomb was like really well placed. For like a thrown bomb to a Diva grab, if you look at how well that how much that covers, this covers this sight line. It covers all of this as well, like the whole point basically. That's just a super solid Diva bomb, and plus it was on a grab, so sort of a difficult thing to avoid. Really clutch because they end up saving that second tick. So New York sort of got a lucky clutch there, and there was some mistakes from Philadelphia that sort of lost them that.
When Achilles shouted the grab was eaten, that means Carpe's Graviton Surge, the most important ult for the push, was absorbed by Diva's defense matrix, and still they committed the rally. Still they committed the shatter there from Sato, and then tried to turn the
Sato shatter? I don't think it hit anything.
But now they have very
So just trance for New York, trance grab for Philly. Like, trance is enough to save from the grab without any insta-kill with Poco. Like, you might lose one, but you shouldn't be grouped. Like, I wish we see how this happens. Like, where's Boombox when he dies here? Where did he die? Was he, like, up on the left there?
So much time was wasted.
So he's like back here. So, oh, okay, so he just got hit by Fire Strike. He just got hit by Fire Strike and his Zarya right click and just died, basically. And then they just run them to clean this up. Like, the thing is, like, Mono knows when he can push in, like, super aggro. Because especially, like, the numbers advantage there. And now they're going to leave. They shouldn't push any further. So they're going to get the clean stagger, but they're not going to overextend. God, New York is so intelligent with the way they play the game. So now they sort of are just like forcing Philadelphia to be the initiators. They're sort of just like, all right, well, you guys have to come to us. Like, we don't got to do anything here. We don't have to do a damn thing.
Even if you lose the fight, Philadelphia still has to touch the point. There's still going to be so much delay because they have respawn advantage. And this is a genius move by New York. They don't use ultimates and still win the fight.
Yep. Didn't have to use ultimates. They got to pick. Jonex just putting out damage, leaves Discord on Zarya. Really trying to put. Oh, so he's consistently discording Zen and Zarya so far from what it seems. Puts Discord on Reinhardt and then trances. That's really good. So now, like, Reinhardt is. So that's so big because, like, for people who don't know, like, you cannot activate Discord while in trance. You always want to have it active before you trance to keep that, like, part of your kit and get value. So always apply orbs before trancing because they stay active while trancing as long as you're in LOS of the targets or the target doesn't die. Simple little trick that ends up getting a lot of value. I see a lot of people just like forget to apply Discord and they'll just panic trance. It doesn't matter who it's on at that point as long as it's active. It's better to have it active than not active. Then you can sort of work on like focusing to get more consistent on it. They have Philly's coming into this a lot. They're coming in with Shattered, Diva Bomb, Double Sport Ult, whereas New York's got Beat, Grab, Bomb. So realistically, Grab Bomb is a huge combo, and it should wipe pretty heavily. Grab is huge. Okay, so that's really good. I guarantee he saw. So this is just like basic Zarya watching Matrix go down. So let's see. So hold on. He had to have seen Matrix go down, or he just winged it, or he just absolutely said fuck it. Okay. Okay, so he sees the Diva look away from him. I think that's what he sees. Yeah, so right here he sees the Diva look at the Reinhardt. Right there, he sees the missiles, and he goes, oh, I'm just gonna grab. As soon as he sees the Diva's not looking at him anymore, they grab, so they throw a bomb as well. He pins, perfect. That's textbook execution on it. Every combo ever should be that easy. Look at how beautiful that is. Holy moly! No team should ever live from grab. I'm back on this. Execution on this is not hard. This is all you have. You have to get the grab right. Get the grab, throw bomb. Okay, well, he blocked Shatter too. Just absolutely alpha on them. But then you pin the Rhine. Neptuno tried to time the beat. He didn't time it. Either way, it doesn't matter. This was so good from New York. That's the cleanest. It's just textbook execution, and then they just have numbers advantage and white. Absolute clean execution from New York. The bomb, the timing on the pin, the grab placement, the grouping, everything good. Good. New York is absolutely the better team on that map, 150%. I mean, I don't think anyone was arguing that. This was a yikes.
I mean, it was a point I hit.
We're at halftime for some reason. This goes on for way too long. Doing some analysis on the first time Baptiste was probably played or something. Okay, I don't care about this. That went on for way too long. They ice the players out so hard. Okay, I can wall. This will be interesting. Hopefully they get some good aerial overhead shots so we can actually see the macro play going on.
First NYXL looking to kick things off, expecting these last second swaps to be coming through. Mono likely just going to be going for that scouting report again.
Okay, Mono most.
He grappled up, but
they're just like peeking.
Right back into the main door.
None can always go for a grapple there. Yep, they're gonna swap the goats. Not exactly shocked. Philadelphia again running Woats on defense for some reason. I don't know why they're doing this. This feels really dumb to me. Winston struggles. He can like posture up here, so like here Winston. I feel like. Yeah, Winston, like, the benefit of running this is that Winston can jump out, right? But, like, the thing is, if you commit bubble close... Oh, God, dude. I'm explaining how bad it is as they do everything to give New York the ability to beat this comp. Like, it's okay if you, like, don't commit resources in a really bad way, but they commit everything wrong. Like, they commit everything in the wrong order. So they burn... D.Va has to fly out, so D.Va's already leaving, so there's no Matrix for the monkey. D.Va tried to like boop them off or something so stop them from rotating this way, but they just rotate for free anyways because it's goats, and they're all grouped together and can just out heal with AoE and Brig. D.Va wastes her fly, so she can't help the monkey now. Monkey jumps in with bubble. They don't even focus the bubble. He burns his bubble now, and then like, oh, I have to leave now. Jumps. I think he was trying to get over, missed the jump. Either way, that's a yikes from me. Like maybe he makes that, like, but that's not a jump you should be missing ever. Or you should even be like trying to take. Just jump out this way. Jump out fast. Like he went for a super high arcing jump, right? Like it's so much easier to shoot a jump that like here, I'll just do this. I'll go back and I'll show you where he should have jumped. Right here, he goes for this arc to get over this wall. This is a really easy thing to shoot. If he just goes here, like back to his team, he can get healed. He can get Brig shielded, he can get Lucio amped, he can get sped out even to get even further away. It's like he forgets he has like the safety of his team consistently and puts himself in a really horrendous spots and dies. I'm really unimpressed with his play in this series so far. Like he's been consistently the one losing his team games.
Gets that killing blow. He himself under some fire, going lower and lower, but looking like he'll be able to stay alive. NYXL, they rejoin together, operating as a unit, now pushing forward, aggressing on the Philadelphia.
That's just like, it's just the team just gave themselves a huge disadvantage off the start for no reason.
Back to the respawn room for you, but for NYXL, it's going to be a cap on A.
This is a great example of what
could have been a long actual 6v6, but they just decided to not.
In this meta in particular, where there's less potential to carry fights 5v6, you know, as an individual. When Sato misses the jump like that, as long as New York doesn't drop the ball right afterwards.
Okay, so no changes. So they're still running the. So this is like arguably where Winston is okay because you can jump down on people, spray, and then you have an escape like where you really can't be followed except by D.Va. And if D.Va flies in your team, she gets Brig bashed and insta killed. Or she should at least.
Really get into your head as well. Moving into a street stage like, well, now I'm gonna
they have Coco here. Where's Sato?
With a 5-minute time bank. Barreling down. They're not going to run Baptiste here. They're not going to run any hit scan.
They don't waste bubble on her. Smart. They're not going to swing if they burn bubble. They're just going to wait it out. He doesn't have any really threatening burst, like to kill any of the tanks. Sato drops. He gets bubbled. Carpe is absolutely doing so much here, and there's nothing that New York can really do to stop him at this point because of the way he's positioned. Carpe is kind of carrying this fight, but then they end up going like. See, the thing is, like, Carpe's in a spot where for where the fight was happening, it was great, right? And then they forced the fight into here, right? I don't know who's in here. I can't really see. But I saw both Divas fly in here after somebody. So I'm assuming Jonak might be in there. No, Jonak's right here. Wait, yeah. Jonak's right there. I don't know who he flew in after. Let's see.
It's going to be EQO actually as a casualty again. Eliminating him.
So they like.
Transcendence still going to be committed here onto the low ground. Boombox trying to keep.
So no, it was Jonak. So Jonak did go in there, and then they chased after him, and then they just got wrecked because New York chased him into the choke and out of Carpe's LOS.
New York just knows how
And then
to
I
push Mono
farmed.
to his limits.
So like
And in
just
that moment where it looked like he might be picked there after
like the team like I don't know if Carpe's communicating with his team, but he has to say like don't go in here. Like we don't have to chase them, right? Like this is nothing you have to do in this fight, right? I'm gonna go over this one more time, like how they should play this, right? Right here, they absolutely have the initiative because Cart's here. The objective to win the game is right here, and it's not being pushed. They need to draw this fight out as long as they can. If this team pushes through here, they can fight them in the choke where they have advantage, rather than falling in behind them when they have the choke. And then they can take a bunch of cleave damage. But Sato jumps down. The shatter gets blocked. They all run out of Carpe's LOS. They're all fighting. Like this is good from New York, right? Like they should be here. Like this is where Jonak and Nen should be. Like because Carpe's farming, but EQO overextends. Like what? Like this is like look at all their. Where is their team here? Like why is Philadelphia where they are? Like they're just unaware of. Like Carpe is the only one that's like in a good spot to like fight this. Everyone else is just sort of like running it down.
Continuing to roll here, NYXL pushing forward, trying to get some additional kills.
And just New York is just all grouped, ready to dip in and out of LOS with that door that they had control of, and then they're back on cart with 3, pushing the whole time. Notice how they have 4 on cart right now. Notice how they're pushing with 3 instead of sending up 6 people to stand here for a while because they don't need to be here yet. They had this extra few seconds of having 3 on cart, and now they're postured up and pressuring. Okay, so they grab Mono, Nen, and Jonak, and then they get beated, and what the? So both teams bomb. Sato for some reason bubbled his own grab. See, like we don't get to see either of the Diva bombs here, so we don't know what's. We know that. Okay, so blue blew up, I think, above. What are your impressions of Sato this season, and do you think they should give Fraggy a chance on right? Absolutely. From what I'm seeing right now, yeah, Sato is not performing. But this is a 1 game, so I don't know if he had a shit game. That was a really good bomb from Echo. I'm assuming it was placed in such a way that like it was very difficult to avoid. They probably didn't see it coming from where he was. So far, my impressions of Sato is really lackluster. He's making a lot of mechanical errors and a lot of mental like errors. Like he's doing a lot of poor decision making, and he's missing jumps and placing like. There's no reason to place bubble on top of that grab ever. Like there's just nothing. There's no reason to do that on top of your own grab. There's just not a reason. Save it for after. You don't need that cooldown there. No, you're not. You're in an advantage state with the grab. You don't need to. You can use their. I mean, right now his Winston's looking pretty lackluster for me as well. Okay, so they shouted at the left door, grab the right door, get capped for free. They just didn't even let him contest, and then they get more kills and ult charge for free, basically. Philadelphia tried to panic touch and uncoordinatedly did so and got punished by ults. So here's the Mecha Bomb. Okay. This is really good.
How Diva's acceleration works with her bomb at mid-air.
And Pokos lands on the stairs.
Beautiful bomb. Really solid.
Don't expect that Diva bomb because you don't see where Meko is.
So Sato, like, can you imagine if Sato saved his bubble there? Like, he could have saved so many people. So Sato jumps in, bubbles, and then ults, trying to create some disruption. Like that's all he's doing. But Poco just ends up going and inting with him. So like, Sato's not doing any damage. He's not threatening kills. He's trying to disrupt. New York is like, oh, he's not trying to kill us. Like, ignore him. Just fucking shoot at Poco instead, because Poco's fucking. Where's Poco? Oh, Poco got pinned. Oh, as soon as they hit that, wow, that was actually so insane. Okay,
Because you don't see where
so
Echo is because he's too far
Sato
away.
goes
Long
huge.
range launching right there.
So Mono like gets booped, tries to pin back, ends up actually pinning Poco. They melt the. That's just a little bit of an unlucky. Like Poco wasn't ready for the immediate 180 pin. Sato sort of like booped Ryan in. Like New York reacted to that so well. I'm pretty sure they bubbled the Ryan too. Did they bubble Mono when he gets booped like that? I want to watch this for a little bit more. So they boop. Okay, and wow, look how fast that bubble comes out, dude. They were so ready. Okay, and then's like, oh, okay, well, Ryan got booped in, bubble him, boom, immediate pin. Realistically, like the Ryan should have been in a bad position, but because of Mono and Nene's reactions are being just being so good, it literally didn't even matter. Sato made a good play. Like that's the first like big thing that he like he's done. Like he separated the Ryan, put him in the middle of the team. Mono was like, nah, dude, I'm immediately 180 pinning your diva into the middle of my team and getting bubbled and getting out without taking a single point of damage. Holy shit, dude. Mono's so massive. Yeah, just absolutely fucking obliterated. Try to ignore the annoying dog next door. I'll do something to shut her up. Hold on.
That amp field, even if you can build it in time, which you can't. It wouldn't do much.
Not gonna do much.
Push it through. They just boot back Poco, saying nope, no tag for you.
1 second, please. I'm gonna do something real quick. Alright, I just have to shut my window. The dog's not gonna stop barking.
Achilles. I hate to say it, but we are looking down the barrel of potentially a 4-0.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough for them. Sorry if I missed that. Yeah, just like that last play was just New York being super good and Philadelphia like the execution, like the start of the play started strong, right? Like the Winston jumped in, he was protected, used bubble so he didn't get like, so he probably stopped Discord for a few seconds or stopped immediate oncoming burst damage. Ults boops right into his team. New York was just ready. They were just fully prepped and were like, nah, that's not gonna work on us. So New York actually running not goats. Philadelphia should win this if they play this rotation properly. But I think Libero is going to absolutely farm them, is the main issue. So this is a standard 2-2-2. The reason they're not running Hog is because they want some defense for when Mono does get pushed and he doesn't have a shield and needs another defensive cooldown to be safe, since there's not a lot of healing coming out from the healers. And most likely Animo's going to be dedicated to Libero and Nene. So they're getting Pharah spammed, like you would expect. Fan's gonna be like probably consistently spammed at the shield for shield damage. Notice how McCree's not playing super far back. He's playing on top of the Orisa because he knows like if they push into that, he can just flash like the whole team. Like if Ryan swings like uncharacteristically or unclever. Great job trying to get picks with the So consistently, like, they have to burn CDs to stop this Pharah from killing things. Boombox ends up getting a pick on Nen. So, like, the thing is, they're like, New York's doing a lot of damage here, but you only have, like, a certain window to, like, pressure them before they can just run at you with their full force goats. They didn't do it properly, especially because they lost the McCree, which is the huge threat of Flashbang. That's gone. Like, that means that it's, like, that's pretty much the largest inhibitor is Halt and Flashbang. So they're running triple tank, Pharah. They're gonna have to play really close here for Zarya to get any value. They're gonna have to keep fighting on this first turn before Cart really comes out too quickly. Yeah, there comes Barrage. That's gonna get fully Matrix for sure. Yeah, I mean they traded one, but that was a good bubble and good Matrix from New York to support the Barrage. Ends up trading some main tank. So, ooh, do they get the res? Wow. Okay. That's actually pretty sick that they get that res off. They trade, though, like, again, another trade, and their spawns are closer, so New York's gonna have to back off, but, like, realistically, they burnt quite a bit of time in the time bank. Like, that was probably, like, a 20-second engage where they burnt, where they didn't really, like, lose a full wipe or commit too heavily with ults. They only burnt Diva, or they only burnt Pharah. So not too bad from New York. Like not a full win or wipe or anything, but for a time bank standpoint, it was pretty solid. Getting pretty well to win the next fight with the old bank on Philadelphia. Mono jumps in. Notice how he is immediately like kiting. Oh, God, like this is the difference between Sato and Mono. Is if you look at the way the monkey jumps in, Mono is like, okay, I can die. I'm not a mortal god. I only have a certain amount of window to where I can be really aggressive. He uses that window. He uses his bubble. It was like, okay, I need to wait a little bit. He probably got calmed that they don't want to bubble him yet. Carpe, while trying to punish, gets pressured by the rest of the team. Mono ended up building his ult. They solo grab him. Like, to shut Mono down, Philadelphia Fusion had to commit a full graviton, whereas Sato's just dying on Monkey all the time for free.
Now trying to wake their way back over onto the cart, get things rolling across the bridge.
Holding
on a ultimates the rally nearly coming online as well. So
they're just trying to buy time for Mono to come back. You can probably see him walking through somewhere over here.
You can see NYXL in scrappier fights.
So Mono is going to be... Alright, he made it back. So now they have a traditional GOATS fight. Blocks the shatter, despite the boot coming out. Trance making it in. They get their own grab. Rotation of ults coming out from New York, and they end up winning the fight. Now, it looked like New York was losing, right? But they consistently were buying time on that cart the whole way it pushed, and ended up regrouping with counter picks and slow building ults to win in the fight, to where they would have lost. Yeah, Mono's like, but the thing is, like, his team actually didn't commit any resources to him. Like, if you look at like this whole time, like on like all these engages Mono is playing, he is playing pretty resourceless. His own bubble he's playing around very effectively. He's consistently playing on cart, jumping on the two different multi-levels. Like, the thing is, like, Sato isn't getting a lot of support from a team, but he's not he's playing like he's going to, or like he is playing like everyone's ready and willing to save him, even though he's going to make mistakes. Whereas Mono, like, he didn't get a bubble there. He just jumped in, used his own bubble, used clever LOS dancing, and just stalled time. And then following that, Meko did the same exact thing, by like standing on cart and dancing and trying to buy a little time. And then they did the same thing, and then they ended up stalling for a while. Yeah, that death was staggered, but they bought an extra 10-15 seconds on the payload. So then in the next fight, New York says, okay, well, we don't actually need to worry about cart quite yet. We're not worried about it. We're going to fight it on the payload, so we know it's not going to be moving, and we have time to stop it if we do end up like losing the pressure. So the initial dive in, I want to actually see, maybe he does get a bubble here. I can't. He might have a. I can't tell if that's this blue. I can't see anything from where the camera is. So he might have actually gotten a bubble there. I think that was just his personal Winston bubble. So ends up burning ult. Ends up getting solo grabbed, and they burn him. Meko tried to throw in bomb, try to punish them, punishing the grab. Like, the thing is, like, New York is so good at, like, oh, they're focusing this person, so let's send resources, like, to make it difficult to focus this person, right? Like, it's a dedication of resources in a different way. Like, they're just like, Carpe was trying to focus him, and he was getting blasted from above the whole time. Carpe a little overextending here. See, like, they're trying to stop him from touching Carpe, but now Carpe's Carpe stayed a little too long, because now there's a frontline fight here without Zarya, right? So that was actually probably planned from New York to, like, okay, burn Carpe's time, burn his CDs before the frontline fight happens. So now they end up getting like a bunch of ult combos, and they know Carpe doesn't have any bubbles, so they just clean up, knowing they have cooldown advantage and ult advantage. And all that time was bought. Dude, New York's fantastic. And, like, it seems like really small things, but it's just consistent micro understanding of how cooldown should be used, and consistent play of how to actually win the game with the objective.
No fear from the tank line of NYXL. Mono gets the charge through, and they win a fight while there's a self-destruct.
Really smart play. Like, New York consistently has really smart play. So now they're going to be holding this choke, which is where most likely they're going to be pushing from. The reason, okay, so people oftentimes will ask me, like, why is this, like, a better push than going over here, right? Or going, like, maybe up through here. One, like, up through here, you're actually still, like, at a choke. Yeah, you have a little bit of a slant here, but it's actually more of an open space here. Like, the choke is actually longer, quote-unquote, because you're, like, you can only go, like, your range of motion is limited, whereas there's a door here. You can jump off, like, down here to this place. You can go back here. You can go down the stairs, up the stairs. There's more ways to retreat here. And, like, the thing is, pushing through this choke is pushing to like chase is dangerous because then you get trapped, right? And the only way to really escape is just back this way. So you sort of have to back up, and every character is slower moving backwards than they are forwards. So just like a basic thing. So they just sort of they're trying to brute force their way through the choke with beat. New York counters with rally.
Push their way through. It's gonna be a sound barrier out from L.
Diva flies up, puts herself in a really weird position in the middle of. See, like, just look at the way New York is positioned. Okay, everyone is together. Literally every single person is standing right next to each other except for Jonak, who was up here initially, right? And then they go, oh shit, Jonak's getting attacked. Look at the whole fuck. They hear Jonak. He probably said. He probably barely even whispered in his mic. He probably goes, please help, Zarya shooting me. And the whole team fucking runs at him. Look at that. Look at that, dude. The whole fucking team. Literally, everyone went to help him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They might have overcommitted that save. Ooh, Meko pops bomb. Are they going to be able to touch? They are going to be able to touch. Okay, so they actually should win this. Nope, Elk's alone. Poco's alone as well. Mono doesn't have any healing, but that's okay. Ooh, the Doomfist actually might clutch this. Yeah. Okay, so the Doomfist coming in is actually huge. So that was actually there's a lot of layers to go on here. I'm gonna be on this fight for a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna go on this slow. This whole fight's slow. Okay, so they brute force their way through the choke with beat. You can see the beat come out. Diva gets booped, and Elk is out of the fight for a little bit, so they don't have the speed to really chase things. They see Jonak gets pushed by Carpe. The whole team rotates to help. Onimo uses the wall to group back up with his team, knowing that he needs to get back to the team. Realistically, there's no one on cart. These three could just run a cart and probably cap it. Like, this is an overcommitment on New York's part to save the Jonak. But they trade for Carpe, which is not bad. But like, Carpe grabs himself and then ends up getting quite a few people because they're so heavily grouped and they don't get eaten. And then Sato goes for an insane pin, ends up I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to actually fall off here, because now he dies. Like, he should realistically die. He doesn't have a pin, he should be dead. But Meko recognizes the fact that, I have to stall cart. I'm gonna have to use my ult, like, or they will push, like, because the whole team got booped off. This team rotates through after killing Sato. Unfortunately, they have no healers now, I'm pretty sure. Libro's the only one left. And I don't know if he has Inspire up or not. So he gets booped. Oh, the wrong bubble goes out. So I think he accidentally bubbled. That's super unfortunate. That's actually really solid from Poco and Elk. If you look at Mono I think this is a whiff bubble, obviously. Like, this should have been placed onto the Reinhardt. Elk shooting from behind and Poco shooting from behind while he gets, like, pressured. So he actually takes quite a bit of damage. Like, look how much damage that those Lucio shots matter so much. These 4 bullets matter so much. Ready? Watch this. So he gets hit by 12 Lucio bullets, and that's like actually what did all the damage, realistically. Like some Diva rockets, but Lucio bullets really were what did everything. And so Elk is so huge, actually. There, like, that's a huge fucking play from him, like with the wall ride shots. And then Doomfist comes in, Boombox kills the D-Mac. Wow, that's actually really good. So that's a really solid support line play from Philadelphia Fusion, and Poco did a great job there too, supporting Elk. It's pretty good. So now they're sort of playing a weird, like, DPS goats without a Zarya. Carpe's on Doomfist. I feel like he's probably frustrated about not, like, feeling as effective. They went for an uppercut chatter. It's a simple win condition. But New York was just clearly ready for it. Like, you just look at the way they were positioned. Look, they, like, posture up together and they see the Doomfist come out. Look, they all just dip. Look at that. Oh my god, that's such a clean counterplay. Oh my god, okay. So, Onimo's already up here, right? The Brig was, was the Brig with the Rein? The Brig was literally standing directly next to the Reinhardt. Look, Libro's staying with the Reinhardt, so he gets punched too. Oh my god, their brains are so big. Meko immediately flies up and then has self bubble. So all the people that could have gotten shattered, the 3-man shatter that was probably gonna happen, New York's just like, no. My intellect will block this, dude. I don't need to use my shield. Holy fuck, that was so good. Wow. And now they just wait this out and grab. And they just win. Yeah. Waited out, grab, swing in the grab, everything dies. Yep. Wow. Man, it's almost like New York's one of the best teams in the league, and Philly sucks.
Delayed Philadelphia Fusion in a fight that was always going to be a lost fight for New York. They were just fighting to touch the point and then be in a position where
That's actually so insane.
Philadelphia had to stand on the
That's some
cart
phenomenal
and then
fucking
charge
like
and then get an
like
ultimate.
those things like people don't do that.
And now
Like
they
no
define
fucking person
further
in Islam is
time
like
here.
no Brig like no Brig is like, oh Ryan, I'm gonna stand next to you for the Doomfist uppercut slam so that way I can avoid it with you when we get punched up in the air. Diva, get ready to fly up, and then you have your self bubble, or Nene, you have your self bubble, okay? So we'll all avoid it, so we'll bait it this way. Like that, there's no way they planned that. That wasn't they didn't have the time to fully communicate that to each other. I mean, maybe they did, but unrealistically they like it's an unrealistic like amount of time to communicate such a complex thing. They probably all just were like, "Oh, this is how we avoid the shatter as a team." Libero knew, "Oh, if I get knocked up in the air too, I won't get hit by the shatter." Nen's like, "I have self bubble." Michael's like, "I can react and fly." And they were like, "Okay, so let him uppercut me. I don't care. Don't waste bubble on it." And they didn't. And then they just re-engaged after. God, dude. That's sick. Interactions like that, dude, make this game. This is why this game is sick. And then they just, wow, they just absolutely alpha these kids when they're trying to push up. So they threw bomb out. So they, oh wow, oh man, that's so good. So they just split the Brig and Lucio. They see Lucio, they split him with bomb. They end up actually killing the Zen too, and then just rush down the rest of the front line in the corner and just wipe them because they don't have their sports. Oh man, really good split with the Diva bomb. Really good execution in general. New York absolutely looks like just a 100% way better team. Ends up getting a boop on Jonak. Rest in peace, Mr. J. Jonak. Big fan.
One of the toughest chokes to breach in the game.
Oh, sorry about that.
They don't have a grab to attack. Jonak does not have transcendence. They're gonna have to
Shatters,
really push
Shatter War.
slowly
Let's
and
see
try
how
to
they
build those
play it here.
ultimates, always at risk of giving more to
Both
the
teams
NYXL.
rally. Bubble comes down from Mono. He realizes, okay, we're not gonna push in for like the aggressive shatter. My team might get shattered. Like, all right, that was. Hold on, we're gonna see how that shatter hit. How does he get stunned? Oh, wow. All right, so that's a Brig stun. So he sees him. So Libero is recognizing that Sato was swinging on the corner to prevent people from really walking around it and threatening with his hammer range. He realized that he's probably going to overextend with one more swing. Libero says, I can stun, and Mono says, go. And as soon as he sees the stun, he reacts and shatters the whole team. Or shatters at least Sato. Wow. That's just being better. Like, Mono and Libero are better than Sato and EQO. That's all that is. Like, realistically, like, I don't know if they had bubble. Like, they use bubbles, right? So let's see, hold on. Let's go through this whole thing in slow-mo. Both teams rally. Both bubbles are used. Okay, so it's 8 seconds. So bubble will be up, or no, 10 seconds. So it'll be up at 1:55. So they're counting the bubble. They know bubble's happening. They see Sato swinging on the corner here like this. They see him fire strike. They see him swing one more time greedy, twice greedy, stun, shatter, boom. They don't have bubble for 2. Bubble comes up off CD right now. Wow. Yeah. New York was just ridiculous cooldown tracking and macro play at the same time. NYXL is just too good, man.
As a Lucio player,
Fuck.
all Lucio mains will to hit that sound barrier perfectly to keep his teammates alive.
Just absolute
Stun.
intellectual.
There was no
They're like
follow-up
intellectual.
after
They're
that
like
moment,
people
and now
who
he's missing a sound
who are
barrier.
super
Even
ripped,
though it was a really well-timed sound
and
barrier,
also
think
super
about
smart.
it.
Like
Same
they
teammates,
have
so
incredible
many
mechanics
they
and
still
their
lost
brains
the
are just
fight.
huge.
Now they're missing that crucial support ultimate.
Trying to work their way back through the choke here. A minute and 15 seconds on the clock. Nene trying to build up the energy. Has the grab ready to go. 3 ults.
Notice how they're not committing bubbles because he knows Mono's not going to take a bunch of stupid damage, even though he's discorded. They're like, oh, let's give him some space. Let's give them some space, make them feel comfortable, and then re-engage with our CDs. And as soon as they probably saw him burn something important, right? I don't know what. All right, they see rocket pods being burnt. They probably saw Brig use E. Oh, they saw self bubble used. Oh, they're like, ooh, gimme. All right, they didn't execute properly on the dive here, but that's because they got grabbed themselves. That's a good counter from Philadelphia. What Shadow hit? Dude, has Sato hit a single person with the shatters in this series? Dude, Mono blocked it. Oh yeah, he hit Nene, but he got protected by beat. And wow, dude, Mono just took a dump on Sato this whole series. It's just absolutely fucking just said, I'm better than you.
The big winning
Holy
moment in a
moly.
fight that was basically mirrored. No one dies to Mekko's self-destruct despite
Wow.
the setup there. The big
Poor
win
Sato,
on the
man.
clock when we had it there.
Lol, we like that
This
observer
to Mekko's
freeze.
self-destruct despite
The observer
the
freezes so they cut
setup
off.
there.
Look at
The
that.
big win, the Caddy had it there, but it's very late. Later, they could have
That's
turned
what
the
you
fight.
get for
He's
working
missing it.
in
He's
the-
about to have it now, 30%
as an
away,
observer.
but it's very
You
late.
used to recognize little
Achilles,
things
there's
like
not a
that.
whole lot of time here.
Okay, so
30% away, but it's very
realistically,
late.
Philadelphia goes into
Achilles
this
is
with a
not-
huge advantage with Rally, right? They have the movement speed advantage. They have the consistent slow taking armor.
not a whole lot of time
Like they should
here.
go into this realistically with a win. They bubble EQO, so they go for okay. So super aggro stun play on Libero, and they end up getting that. But do they group themselves up and no? So yeah. All right, awesome. They executed properly. They executed that fight very well. They said, okay, fuck it, we're gonna play aggro for once, dude. We don't think they're gonna be prepped for us to rush them. And we know they don't have ults. So Philadelphia actually played really smart. They super aggroed they sped their Brig with Rally and Bubble and stun Libero right there. Got the stun. They insta wipe. They punished Mono for trying to help. Animo's still there. They just clean him up. Now they're notice how New York didn't run away and pointlessly die over here. They said, all right, well, we're gonna die fucking anyways. Stand on the cart, make them not push it. And you don't think that matters a lot, but look how long they bought. Look how many seconds they added. Every time. All right, contested. Cart is not moving. Cart's not moving. Cart's not moving. Cart's not moving. They've won this fight. Cart could be moving right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. They bought 4 seconds. 4 seconds. That's. Look how far the cart moves in 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. That's a lot of space. That's like 5 meters at least that they saved by dying on cart there. Shatter hit no one again. Shocking. Look, hey, dude. Look at the meters left. Can you imagine if they just ran away and died instead of touching cart and dying on cart? Mono trying to play slow. EQ stun. Libero put low. He's playing a little bit too aggressive on the Reinhardt there. I thought he might. They probably thought he was gonna get some help, but it's okay. They're just trying to salvage this. They get a huge graviton from Nen. Wow, they were just playing stall for ults, and they did, and they brought it through. New York is so much better than Philadelphia.
In the narrow spaces that make it a playground for players like Mekko, who have been setting up.
I want to do viewer VODs, man. I want to do viewer VOD reviews, like viewer scrims or like viewer comp games, maybe. I don't know like what level I should do though, like because I could do really low level stuff, then it'd all be like go into Kovacs and aim better, and then realize like what your abilities do and stuff, and like teaching them really basic things of like crosshair placement and understanding how like numbers advantage works and cooldown rotations, like really basic stuff.
Such a tear in this series. I think not finishing the map seems unlikely.
Like I feel like gold and low is sort of like a waste. Not a waste, because like they're still learning a lot, but it's like any diamond player can like teach a gold player like, oh, how did you aim, or like how did you like learn what the abilities are. You know what I'd really like to do actually? I'd really like to do like if you have over 200 hours of like comp play and you're still gold, like then reach out to me and I'd like to like help. Like why, like I want to know why you're still there. Like after you've spent enough time where you should be learning. Like I want to know what you're like inhibiting your learning to like start. What's stopping you from realizing how to get better? Or like maybe you just don't. There's an inability there, or you're unaware of certain things. Like unaware of certain things to analyze. So actually, I missed this whole intro. Sorry, I was talking about nonsense. Okay, so Wotes versus Wotes, except never mind, not Wotes versus Wotes. They have Widow instead of Diva, pressuring. He's probably gonna swap. Eco is forced to stand up there. Boombox is trying to get a right click. Picks. Mekko's just doing some like poke damage. Probably gonna swap. Yep. Okay, so they end up actually getting mech due to some cleave damage. Mono has to jump out because it's low. Libero leaves. I don't see a lot of breaks doing that in high level play. They were so scared to save stun. But Libero just like, get me out. Peace. Libero trying to keep his Inspire uptime. Look. Oh man. Look, they set up room for their DPS to do work. Look, Jonak literally is so not scared because he knows his team's with him, man. This is so much faith. Like, this is so much faith, dude.
Now 2 people, El and Sato both going to be eliminated. Now
Wow.
Boombox, Carpe, he kills himself off.
That's nothing but faith. Nothing, pure belief in his team.
Because he was able to identify with NYXL.
Also, would people want to watch me do like live owl analysis, like where we watch along together? Like, because I can't technically restream it, but I can stream while it's going on, and you can watch me while it's happening, and I can be talking about stuff.
Opportunities to DMAC Poco, and that's going to just be one of these.
I don't know if people would be interested in me watching like live owl and commentating.
Yep, now they'll be fighting it out on the bridge, much like we saw on Iconfall.
But I don't know if people like want to do that or not. I'm gonna start uploading a bunch more of this stuff to YouTube. I think it'll be fun to like start analyzing more things and doing more stuff. When is the SF Shock game? Shock is at 7:30. I could probably stream that. Shock versus Valiant. What's the first one? This is gonna be Wash. This is gonna be Wash. That'll be a good game. These last 2 games will be good, I think. Man, there's like no good games going on for a while. When's like the next good game? It's gonna be a little bit. Jesus. That'll be okay. That'll be okay too. This will be good. That'll be fun to watch. Dude, they kind of have some Resident Sleeper games going on this week.
Kills there, but still playing very aggressively forward at the card. The grab's gonna come down.
Solo grab Sato. They try to go in and save with Trance, but hey, it doesn't matter because they actually focus the target on the grab. Pog. New York consistently uses these 3 ults to win fights, like textbook. Like they win every time with those when they use those 3. I want to see like the stats on like if when New York uses these 3 ultimates, how often are they just winning fights outright? God. See, like that's the difference. Look at that. So if Sato were to do that, he'd die, dude. He'd just die. Watch out! Look! Watch Mono! Watch Mono! He's somewhere over here, tearing the team apart. Watch his health bar. Watch his health bar. Look. Gets healed up. He's like, alright, I'm ready. Jumps on these people over here. Jumps on the supports. Ult. Doesn't even need to, but he says, okay, I'm gonna boop these 2 back in the middle of my team. Which is huge. Huge. Gets the boop kill on EQL, and then they end up wiping. Whereas, look at all this free card space because they were trying to disengage, right? Like they were like, alright, let's get the fuck out. Because we lose this fight. Let's leave. And let's regroup. So they got all this card push already off of the 1 fight, right? So this is like, you have to, I think about it in the value of like, fights get you how much objective, right? So like, this is how much objective they got from that fight. But if you look, because of this ult, this 1 fight turns into, instead of it just being this little bridge area, it turns it into this bridge area and probably all the way up to like here.
The big contesting points on Rialto are the bridge that we just saw them cross. That's why they committed so many ults, and then now coming around this corner.
Whereas like value-wise, it should have gotten them maybe. I love how I can't draw properly because this fucking thing pops up every time. So annoying.
No grab for Nene, so they really need to make this their Alamo. The problem is with the stagger respawns here, they're not even on it yet. They're just barely gonna get up here on time, but knocked off.
And oh man, and so God, New York's so much better. New York is literally so much better than this team. Their whole team recognizes, oh, they're gonna try to set up top here. We're gonna take off the 3 on cart to just in time to beat them to the rotation. That's like pure efficiency. Look, they have 3 on. They put the people who couldn't rotate in time, and then as soon as they're like, okay, we need to get these people up there in time, boom, 1 on cart, and Mecha can fly up whenever he needs to. But boom, they're here, ready to go. As soon as they peek it, boom, smack them off the top, run it down at Boombox, in the middle of the team, displace the entire front line. Mono might go down, actually saves his whole shield and is able to back up in time. Carpe tries to push up on him. So a little bit of a sloppy drop off after they knocked the 2 tanks off. I feel like they should have just taken the fight. So I feel like the most optimal path is once they see Sato's forced off, they can just drop the cart and take the fight like usual because there's no positional advantage that Philadelphia has. So like once I feel like they try to commit a little too heavily on the chaos of getting the boop and like forcing them into a bad position, but realistically, like they had the advantage once they got the knockoff, and they should have just taken the fight in a traditional manner. Despite having the ult disadvantage, I feel like they could have won it. They could have built a grab, could have done a lot of things.
If you got 1 HP, you're not dead, and NYXL are so good at making sure that Mono survives, almost baiting people in,
Yep.
pulling them in,
So now
taunting them with
they're gonna have the
slow
little Diva
health
duel
bar.
on cart. They get grabbed in the choke. They get trance. Throw a bomb in the middle. Good beat to stop the bomb damage. And again, like New York making it out of situations where they shouldn't be living there. Like, they should really confirm this combo. Like, oh, they get grabbed too. Carpe got pinned, gets inspired from Brig, ends up actually living, probably has bubble. Where is he? Oh, he's here. Sweet. I don't know if he actually got pinned or like how that worked. Oh, he was so low. Yeah, Carpe goes down. Alright, hold on. I want to see how Carpe actually ends up dying. Is this just Onimo farming Carpe? Oh, dude! I'm pretty sure this is like 60% Onimo's damage. Like, Mecho's shooting at him too, and I think Nene a little bit, but most of this I feel like is Onimo just dinking him. And oh wait, did he get interrupted? Oh, he died as soon as it went out. Okay, well, wow, yep. Dude, look at Jonak. Look where Jonak is. Look at the rotation he took. Look where they started the fight out. Look where he starts. Look at the consistent, smart. He goes, okay, I'm going to go over here. This is a safe off angle that he can take because he knows his team's going to posture forward. He knows they're going to play aggressive. And if the team, if Philadelphia Fusion commits, like, look how EQO commits to try to pressure Jonak. Libro's there immediately, ready to help. And Jonak has free reign to just farm headshots. Look. He even walks forward to get easier shots on them. And the rest of the team... dude, like New York is absolutely so far from what I'm seeing the best team at like allowing other members of the roster to posture forward and then supporting them when they get pressured for posturing forward. It's consistently really good. And again, like right there, look. Okay, so Boombox is fighting Jonak here. Ready? Look. Boombox is fighting Jonak, but Mono's up there, so he gets swung on. That might actually just be a bad spawn. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think he's... So he, like, walked out. Like, no, he should be running, right? God, I wish I could see how these tanks got up there. I don't know. That just feels like maybe Boombox is a little dumb.
By Meko, and then Nene is just going to have the advantage with Zarya there.
The sad thing is that pick is half the point. Half the point's pushed now because of that pick. Whereas they could be fighting right around now. Half of the point is just gone because of that death.
Control that point, but they did not. And this is a really rough spot now for the Fusion.
Yep. Surging up with that energy here is Nene.
Notice how he's not right-clicking until he's out of his clip because he needs to be dealing as much damage to shield as possible. He's really just shooting 9 shield. Shoots a little bit of Carpe. Bubbles, they start backing up. They knew they had to disengage. They see how much damage is coming out. Ooh, they see EQ overextend and said, no, just kill. I guarantee that's how the comms work. They said, no, kill, free kill. Get shattered on Poco. Just the stun alone is enough to buy time and stop Matrix from happening. So, more value than not hitting anything. They know they already have numbers advantage. So like the thing is, when you know you have a numbers advantage, you don't need to get huge ults. You don't. You just need to do things that do a little bit. The requirement for value becomes less and less the higher number like people you have, the higher numbers advantage you have. Boops him. Wow, Elk's so good, dude. Elk's so good. Elk's trying so hard to like not lose. Poor guy. Whereas just like, man, it felt like EQO and Sato were just sort of throwing this match really hard. I don't know. It felt like they were consistently the main cause of loss in many other fights.
Very well played here by New York. You don't see time banks like this.
Okay, they're running a terrible composition. New York's probably just trolling a little bit and like messing around with comps for fun. They're like willing to lose first point now because they're up 3-0 and they don't care. So Jonak on Baptiste, Animal on Mercy. This is probably the best comp to run with, or like the best healer combo to run with Baptiste, in my opinion. So they're actually going to swap squad, or 3. I don't think this is good. Counter this at all.
Try to go in, get that pile driver knocked up.
I think they should swap Poké to Genji.
Be swinging around effectively
There's
enough.
no CC to stop him, and dash damage on pile drive is
Already peeled
consistent
back. They're gonna be
150 if you do it
surrendering the
right.
high ground, but instead just play around the corner.
Yeah, they don't want to give too much ult charge, especially to Carpe, because that's the one thing that can really wreck this is actually a Dragon Strike. There's no real answer to that.
I mean, that's another good like win condition to play for, but
If you can get shots
I think
at
That's why
without
Nene
ult
is tracking him, because
commitment.
he knows the Hanzo in particular is the scariest part of this.
EQO.
really good shots from Carpe, like really annoying on the Widow. Sato behind, but it doesn't really matter. Like
Been a huge pickup here
dives on Onimo.
Nene still under some pressure, but now Elk gonna be taken down. Jonik finds his first kill on
a lot of
Batiste.
split pressure from the Philadelphia Fusion comp, but nothing's really being confirmed. Nothing is really like there's no follow up on things is the issue. Like
That might be the
there's
first
no way to
thing
help.
you
Like if
really
EQO hits a
see
direct, there's no way to
inspired by
confirm a follow up
time
on it,
in,
unless it's like a predetermined like slam follow up.
The amplification matrix
There's
here
no
is
no
going
Tracer or
to
Genji
make
or anything that
both
really has
Nene
enough
and
gap
Libero
closing to
godlike in
help
terms
with
of damage output
any
if
like
placed
any of the
correctly.
long range
It's gonna
damage.
be up in
So Sato's actually going to
25%
swap off
here.
to a little bit more of a
Very terrifying
consistent
for the
confirm
Fusion.
on
To fight
directs,
against that is
to where if
nigh impossible.
oh, so they're actually just going to swap the
And they're
full
not even
double
running a
sniper.
diva to mitigate the
Oh
damage,
no,
so
they are going to
this
actually stay
next
this.
fight
Okay,
with that
so they're going to go double
amplification
sniper
matrix up, which is gonna
to
double
try
the damage,
to
is gonna be so
just
difficult for Fusion
either
to win.
there's so there's two ways that this confirm works. Is that you snipe something and then it slams, or you snipe something and then you snipe it. Like that's the way, main win condition of this competition. Pogo is like also able to like hack Bastion and things like that, and make and just sort of disrupt, as you know, like as Tracers and Sombras do in the backline. They have their ability to just peace out and do a lot of disruption. Nice shot from Nen or Nene, however you want to say it.
Really love to see it. Carpe going on the offensive, but there's back
Look at
up
that,
for
a
Nene.
boom. Carpe goes in to try to take the 1v1. Mekko's like, nah, dude, get away from my support, or get away from my Widow. Peace. You ain't taking the 1v1. You don't need to take the 1v1. There's no pride. There's no Widow pride. Nene doesn't care. He says, no, help. Kill this idiot. He's taking a dumb 1v1 with me. End him.
And it's also going to allow Nene to always have line of sight advantage for the next few seconds here versus Carpe is trying to reposition against him and also trying to eliminate EQO. Look at the Dragon Strike percentage here. Only 40. He's been tracking him. He hasn't been able to build.
Yeah,
that
they haven't used a single ult.
at breaking a bunker composition like this.
The whole push. Jonik's about to just damage boost field on Bastion. Oh, so that's a super good halt to stop the Sato grapple. That's actually really solid to stop the momentum on the grapple. Resets so you actually can't use it. That's super smart. So they're like trying to posture. Oh, so EMP actually gets rid of the damage enhancement field or whatever the fuck it's called. Seems to know. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Tank come out right here. Hope he gets hacked. Yeah, so this is like the issue with letting them set up. Is letting them take all the angles is the difficult part. It only took them 3.5 minutes to get it set up properly, but when they get it set up properly, it's very difficult to beat because you have people shooting you from 4 different spots. So both snipers set up on different angles.
It's probably best to just let this go.
Headshot there from Carpe.
Nice. Great. Yeah, see, they have Pogo from behind, they have Carpe in this angle, they have the slam happening. This is like textbook. This is really good quad. Now, like this point would like this fight and this next fight, the end of first point has been really solid. This has been like proper execution on everything. This is why some people think like, oh, like quad will beat goats, because it can beat goats, but it takes a lot of setup and it takes very near perfect execution. Sato overextending. Oh, Sato. Come on, buddy.
Well, the one
You just
thing
fed
that
600
Europe
HP
loses
volt,
from
man.
taking that last second contest is the ult charge they would have been building.
For nothing.
And now
For nothing, man.
an EMP push again here to get
Notice
this high
how
ground
Philly
control
has
been
had one on
building.
cart this
And
for
now
this whole
looking
time,
at an EMP
right?
push again here to get this high ground
Very
control.
little
This is the
payload
point where
movement.
New York is standing right
New
now.
York really
That's the
prioritizes
toughest
that
to
as soon as
contest
they
on
won
this
that
map.
fight.
The EMP could certainly open that up
And
right
then
now.
only moved up to posture when they needed to.
Nano thrown in on the mono. Trying to keep the
EMP,
line.
the monkey, try to focus it. No one else shooting at it though. Slam hits nothing. Mines hit nothing. Finally finish off the mono.
New York backed off and
The
held
mono.
their high ground here, but unfortunately mono is still
Slam.
caught.
Oh, gets slept. Nice, but gets woken by unfortunately by the boop.
EQO hits the
A
Dragon
lot of
Strike, but it's
chaos
too
going
late.
on.
Well, maybe not. They do have the res.
They do have the res.
Dragon Truck is really big, and the Storm Arrow is really good. New York's playing this well. It's unfortunate Because I feel like Philly didn't quite execute on anything super impressively. Boombox trancing for like no reason. Dude, like, see, the thing is, like, this is where they struggle, is because the consistent AoE healing of goats means you have to burst people. You can't like poke people down with this comp because the healing is too much. There isn't like poke damage that consistently works unless it's really hard burst. Poke actually swapping to the May. Oh no, they're just gonna swap to goat. Yep, it's not working anymore. They're not able to set up on angles, and having huge advantages going into that fight. They're unable to win due to the comp. And Mono's just going to start playing aggro on bridge to start boops. Carpe overextended. Should pretty much just die here. Unless, oh, he actually doesn't position properly to boop and start punishing that, so they just back up. But although it seems like they don't get much, look at the time bank. 36 seconds. 33 seconds when he ults in. Splits the team, forces Carpe out of a bad position, forces him to use cooldowns. They have to use a lot of shit to save him. You know he uses personal bubble, they use a lot of matrix. I guarantee they use the Brig E, I forget what the instant cast is. I don't know if it's Inspire or not. I literally have her thing open. Repair pack? Gross, dude. That's the worst. That's the least hype name for a insta heal armor thing I've ever seen. Nano insta melts boombox. So like right there, I don't think they have the yeah, they don't have Briggy. They don't have the repair pack for the Zen, which is the biggest thing. So he just dies. Don't touch the point, so they C9. Wow, so that's a very, very, very clean 4-0 from New York Excelsior and some really lackluster play from Phil Fusion. Carpe tried his best, and you can see a lot of respect from the New York team for being like, hey man, like, you were the only thing we cared about because no one else was doing anything threatening.